Now let's talk about Justin Baldoni's PR specialist, Jed Wallace. His firm, Street Relations Inc., is suing Blake Lively for defamation.
Well, Jed Wallace has just sued the wife of Scarlett Johansson's ex-husband. What for? He is accusing Taylor Swift's bestie of defamation.
Well, I can tell you that this is now the 5th lawsuit associated with Blake versus Baldoni, and we're exhausted by it.
She accuses him of doing something, which then when you hear the full context is an absolute nothing burger. This is what she's done throughout.
Weird, okay? Weird. Weird. What? I'm sorry. I mean, what?
Welcome back to Tea Time with Tina. Gather round, good people of the internet, because today's sizzling story has more twists than a bowl of fusilli pasta. If you thought your group chat arguments were juicy, wait till you hear this. Blake Lively is knee-deep in a brand new lawsuit, courtesy of a crisis PR firm that apparently needs its own crisis manager. And to sprinkle on even more drama, we've got Justin Baldoni, Ryan Reynolds, and an entire Hollywood fiasco that'll keep you glued to your screen. Oh yeah, it's the kind of messy that makes you want to pop a big old bowl of popcorn. But before we dig in, do me a quick favor. Smash that like button like you're whacking a piñata at a birthday party, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Cause let's face it, I'm nothing without your support. All set? Good. Buckle up, friends, because this story is spicier than a ghost pepper enchilada, and we're about to dive right in. So let's kick things off with the one and only Jed Wallace, a guy who's made it his life's work to swoop in and fix other people's PR nightmares. But in a wild twist of fate that's basically the real-life definition of irony, Wallace himself is now crying defamation at the top of his lungs. His firm Street Relations is hitting Blake Lively with a lawsuit demanding a cool $6 million in punitive damages, claiming Lively's accusations tarnished their squeaky-clean reputation.
Now a Texas crisis communication specialist is suing Lively for defamation after he says she pulled him into the fight. Jed Wallace and his company, Street Relations, filed a $7 million lawsuit in federal court this week, saying he had nothing to do with the smear campaign Lively alleges in her filing. Lively's lawyers called the suit retaliatory, and they hope he will be held accountable in federal court.
I mean, if you're a crisis PR team, the last thing you want is to be trending for your own meltdown, right? Talk about having your broom turned on you by the very house you're trying to clean. According to Wallace, Lively's words made him look like he was up to all sorts of illegal hijinks. Now, I don't know about you, but if I saw my name plastered in the headlines next to the phrase illegal activity, I'd be losing sleep too. For a firm whose job is to save reputations, seeing their own brand in potential tatters might feel like being a lifeguard who suddenly forgot how to swim. It's that level of uh-oh. Still, if you're scratching your head wondering how on earth we got here, strap in. Because the backstory is a total doozy. Picture this. Last December, Blake Lively files a California civil rights complaint. She drops some serious allegations, and wouldn't you know it, Jed Wallace and Street Relations get a not-so-cameo cameo. Fast forward a hot minute, and Lively hits us with another lawsuit, this time zeroing in on Justin Baldoni for reasons that'll make your jaw drop.
That complaint that this guy named Jed Wallace was hired by Baldoni's PR team to help and weaponize this digital army, to basically help pump out social media posts that seemed authentic, to create and continue this narrative, this smear campaign narrative. This is what she alleged in her original complaint. So now this publicist is filing his own complaint, this is part of this $7 million defamation lawsuit against her, and basically claiming his reputation's on the line. He's lost millions, and once again, this is the second defamation lawsuit against her. We know that Baldoni currently is going to be battling her in court, and his defamation lawsuit is worth $400 million. So it's coming from everywhere now.
But guess who got dropped like a mic at a rap battle? Jed Wallace. That's right. Wallace's name was conspicuously missing from the second lawsuit. Now, if you're him, you're probably thinking, wait, I was important enough to be named the first time. Why'd you ghost me the second time around? So, in classic Hollywood fashion, the snub apparently added more fuel to Wallace's litigious fire, making him go, you know what? I'm flipping the script and suing you for defamation, Blake. We might never know exactly why Lively omitted him in the second round. Maybe her legal team had a bigger fish to fry, or maybe they thought they'd be dealing with him later. All we know is that Jed Wallace claims his good name was tarnished by that initial mention, and the rest is turning into a comedic opera of lawsuits. Oh, the drama, folks. If you're already lost, don't worry. So is everyone else. But we love it, right? Because who doesn't enjoy a messy public feud with big names on the marquee? We might never know exactly why Lively omitted him in the second round. Maybe her legal team had a bigger fish to fry, or maybe they thought they'd be dealing with him later. All we know is that Jed Wallace claims his good name was tarnished by that initial mention, and the rest is turning into a comedic opera of lawsuits. Oh, the drama, folks. If you're already lost, don't worry. So is everyone else. But we love it, right? Because who doesn't enjoy a messy public feud with big names on the marquee? Now one might wonder, does Blake Lively, the poster child for glitzy Hollywood elegance, crumble under pressure? Does she lock herself in a closet, surrounded by couture gowns and tears? Absolutely not. Lively's team is snapping back like a rubber band, calling Wallace's lawsuit a retaliatory stunt. In other words, they're basically saying, boy, please, you're just mad we put your name out there, and now you're trying to shut us up. Her rep even tossed in some language about an ongoing pattern of legal intimidation tactics, implying that Wallace is only the latest in a line of folks trying to keep Ms. Lively from speaking her truth about some heavy subjects like harassment and retaliation. She's standing firm, not budging an inch, and telling the world she's pleased to see Wallace face accountability in federal court. It's almost comedic how they're volleying legal jabs back and forth like a particularly vicious tennis match. On one side, Wallace is crying defamation. On the other side, Lively's team is rolling their eyes, saying, honey, we've been here before. If you thought the tension in your extended family holiday dinner was bad, try spending a day in these attorneys' offices. And speaking of tension, time to spotlight Justin Baldoni. You might know him as the sweet, soulful hunk from TV, but behind the scenes, he's apparently rolling up lawsuits like they're yoga mats. Less than a month after Lively made her claims, Baldoni fired back with a countersuit demanding a measly $400 million. Yes, that's $400 million. Talk about go big or go home, right? That number is so high it made my wallet feel personally attacked just reading it. Baldoni's angle. He says, Lively has tried to cast him as the real-life villain in her storyline, painting him as a menacing figure. He's calling her harassment allegations a total fabrication. The man basically said, I'm not your Hollywood horror show antagonist, and you're not about to ruin my good name for free. Now, I'm no psychic, but I sense he's not playing around, especially if he's willing to fling around a figure as gargantuan as $400 million. This entire fiasco reads like a script from a telenovela, the beloved actor undone by scandal, the golden girl of the big screen accused of making up stories, and a crisis PR guru who's ironically in crisis. It's so layered and so unbelievably over the top that I wouldn't believe it if it weren't actually unfolding before our very eyes. Where's the popcorn sponsorship deal when you need it? But wait, there's more. You can't have Blake Lively in legal hot water without her charismatic hubby Ryan Reynolds popping into the fray. Baldoni's countersuit didn't just single out Lively, it also name-dropped Reynolds and the couple's publicist. The entire reason? Baldoni believes they're all working in cahoots to pin a massive villain sticker on his chest. Now, if you know Reynolds, you're aware that sarcasm is basically his second language. The man can deliver zingers faster than some people type. While we haven't heard a comedic one-liner from him about this fiasco yet, you can imagine the tension behind the scenes. Because, let's be honest, nobody wants to be at the receiving end of a legal nuke that big. And by nobody, I mean definitely not Ryan Reynolds, who's usually the guy making jokes at everyone else's expense, not the target of them. With Lively and Reynolds being one of Hollywood's most adored couples, like seriously, they're basically the living embodiment of couple goals. It's bonkers to see them embroiled in a public spat with another high-profile name. It's like if your favorite barista suddenly started a Twitter war with your favorite pastry chef. We love you both. Can't you just make up and make us some coffee cake? But life rarely works that way, especially in Tinseltown. And now for the million-dollar question, or should I say multi-million-dollar question. Where is all of this headed? Mark your calendars, folks, because the courts have set a trial date for March 2026. Yep, we're talking a date so far in the future that your phone might be an antique by the time the gavel bangs. Why the long wait? Because the legal system moves slower than a snail hitchhiking on molasses, especially when you have high-stakes claims, countersuits, and an entire PR circus swirling around. Plus, we can't forget the discovery process, which is basically the behind-the-scenes rummaging through emails, texts, DMs, receipts, and possibly diaries. Okay, maybe not diaries, but you get the idea. Lawyers are probably salivating at the potential trove of info they can dig up, because in Hollywood, anything can be spun into a headline. and every new headline is a fresh slice of drama for the rest of us to feast on. Here's a tip. If you're famous and under litigation, maybe comb through your phone first and clear out any questionable memes or messages, because you never know what might become Exhibit A. The moral of the story: always keep your digital backyard tidy, especially if you might end up on the other side of a lawsuit or three. Now that we're up to our ears in lawsuits, let's dish on why these people are all going for each other's throats. Some folks say it's about money. Millions of dollars in damages, after all, is no small chunk of change. Others speculate it's about reputation. No one wants to be labeled a villain or a defamer in the public eye. And then there's the deep, murky ocean of personal vendettas. Maybe it's about sending a message. Don't mess with me unless you're prepared to go big or go broke. Blake Lively is trying to shine a spotlight on what she frames as harassment and retaliation. She wants to speak her piece without fear of being slapped with more lawsuits. Justin Baldoni is determined to clear his name of accusations he insists are as fictional as a Hollywood script. Meanwhile, Jed Wallace and Street Relations want the world to know they're not shady puppet masters pulling strings behind closed doors. If each side's claims have even a grain of truth, it's going to be an earthquake-level event when this finally goes to trial. Or it could all fizzle out if someone's bluffing. Only time, and a lot of legal fees, will tell. You still with me? Good, because you deserve an intermission. Imagine, if you will, a scenario where these legal heavyweights settle their differences with a karaoke showdown. Lively belts out a sassy tune, Baldoni counters with a heartfelt ballad, Wallace raps an angry verse about defamation, and Reynolds roasts everyone in the commentary between songs. Doesn't that sound like the reality show we all actually want? Maybe one day, folks. Maybe one day. If you think these lawsuits are just going to gently fade away, well, I have a timeshare on Mars to sell you. With big names, bigger egos, and even bigger pockets, the entire entertainment industry is glued to this fiasco like bees to honey. Producers and tabloids are taking notes because we all know Tinseltown loves a real-life saga that outdoes any fictional script. Could this fiasco change the way celebrities handle defamation or harassment claims going forward? Possibly. High-profile feuds often set new standards for how these matters play out in the media. It's kind of like the forging of a sword: fiery, messy, and intense. But after all the hammering, something new and polished emerges. Will it be a victory for victims, or a cautionary tale about going too far with allegations? That's the million-dollar philosophical question swirling around. Until then, the rumor mill churns. The fans pick sides on social media, and we just keep munching on the snack of the day: pure, unadulterated celebrity drama. So, there you have it. Blake Lively is being sued by a crisis PR firm that presumably knows a thing or two about spin. Justin Baldoni is countersuing with a jaw-dropping $400 million claim, and Ryan Reynolds is caught in the crossfire, presumably polishing his witty comebacks for the day he finally speaks out. This entire saga is spinning faster than your washing machine on high cycle, and it's only getting started. What do you think? Is Lively fighting the good fight, or is Baldoni getting a raw deal? Has Jed Wallace been unjustly dragged through the mud, or did he stir up the controversy himself? Let me know in the comments below. Just keep it classy, folks. Or at least as classy as you can when dishing out hot tea. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Hollywood's latest mega feud, go ahead and smash that like button like it owes you money. And don't forget to hit subscribe for more sensational scoops. I promise there's never a dull moment in the land of glitz and glam. Until next time, stay tuned, stay blessed, and stay informed. Only on Tea Time with Tina.